Hello everyone, I hope you all are good and will be doing great at your home. So my name is Atul Kumar Singh, your today's maths teacher, and today we are going to learn a very interesting topic, that is percentages. Yeah, you heard it right, that we are going to learn the most important topic of arithmetic, that is percentages. Actually, all the topics are important, yeah. So but the most important topic is percentages, or you can say ratio and proportion, because they are proportionate to each other. Now, so today we are going to learn about the percentages. So the first question that will be coming in your mind, that what is percentages now? So I will explain it to you with the help of two definitions. The first definition, that is something out of 100 is called percentages. Now, so if I'm saying 10%, so can I write it as 10 upon 100? So definitely you will say, yeah, we can write it as 10 upon 100. So that means if I'm talking about 10%, so I'm saying 10 out of 100. If I'm saying 20%, so now you will be thinking how we can write 10% as 10 by 100 and how we can write 20 as 20 by 100. I will let you know it also, but after some time, okay? So now I'm talking, if I'm talking about 20%, that means now I'm saying 20 out of 100. If I'm saying 30%, so that means in the same way I will say 30 out of 100, right? If I'm saying x percent, so that means again I'm saying what, x out of 100, right? So in this way we can say something out of 100 is called percentages. And the another way that we can say, what we can say here, I can see clearly here it is 100 in its denominator, here it is also 100 in its denominator, here also 100 in its denominator, and again we are getting 100 in the denominator. That means, in another word, we can say that a percentage is basically a fraction which will always be having 100 in its denominator. Now, if I'm talking about 40%, so again, I'm talking about 40%, that means I can write it as 40 out of 100. So I will write 40 divided by 100. Now, again, we are getting 100 in its denominator, right? So, what it is 40 out of 100, but here we are getting 100 in its denominator. That means the way that we were saying, percentage is basically a fraction which will always be having 100 in its denominator, so it is clearly visible that we can say that always whenever we are converting any percentage into fraction, so we are getting 100 in its denominator now. So that is why this is the way that we can say, this is why we can say that percentage is basically a fraction which will always be having 100 in its denominator. Okay, now you must be thinking how we can write 20% as 20 by 100, 10% as 10 by 100. So basically we can represent percentage by this sign. So this is the symbol of percentage. Now, so percentage, if I'm writing percentage, so this is the symbol. So this sign can be converted into 1 upon 100. So yeah, this is the way, this is why we always, if I'm writing 5%, so that means here the percentage and 5 are in the multiplication now. So in the same way, for an example, if I'm writing 5x, so actually it is here multiplication sign is not visible, but still we will say that 5 and x are in the multiplication. So in the same way, if it is 5%, so that means here 5 and this percentage sign, they are in the multiplication to each other now. That means we can write it as 5 multiplied by 1 upon 100. So now I can write it as 5 upon 100. So this is the way now. So this is the way we can convert percentage sign into 1 upon 100. Okay, in the same way, if we are converting percentage sign into 1 upon 100, that means we can convert 1 upon 100 also into percentages. Yeah, definitely we can. Now, so in the same way, if I'm talking about 12%, so 12%, that means we can write it as 12 multiplied by 1 upon 100, and I will write it as 12 divided by 100. Okay, now you must be thinking how we can find out the percentages, and how we can convert fraction into percentage, and how we can convert percentage into fraction. So there are a lot of questions that we will do. Okay, so firstly we will start with the concepts, how we can convert percentage into fraction and how we can convert fraction into percentages. So firstly, if you want to convert percentage, if you want to convert percentage into fraction, So you need to multiply, you need to divide it by 100. Okay, so for an example, if I want to convert 10% into fraction, so what I will do, I will simply divide 10 by 100. Basically what we are doing here, I'm sure that you will be getting what I'm trying to say. Actually what we are doing here, we are doing nothing but what we are doing, we are just changing this percentage sign into 1 upon 100, and then we are getting 1 upon 10 upon 100. So we can cancel out this 0 and 0, and what we will get 1 upon 10. In the same way, if we are converting 20% into fraction, so what I will do, I will write 20 divided by 100. So basically we are actually not dividing it by 100, we are just changing this percentage sign into 1 upon 100. And so here 21 ja 20, 25 ja, so what we will get, basically we will get 1 upon 5. So this is the way that you can convert percentage into fraction. Now the question is that how we can convert fraction into percentage. Okay, look, so let us suppose if I want to convert 4 by 5 into percentage, right? So you know, here if we are converting percentage into fraction, so here we were dividing it by 100 now, we were dividing percentage by 100. So in the same way, if we are converting fraction into percentage, so here we need to multiply it by 100. Okay, so if we need to multiply it by 100, so how we can do this actually, let me tell you. So what you will do, you will multiply, just a minute, you will just multiply it by 100 now. But simply you can't multiply anything into numerator and denominator, right? Because if you will multiply 100 into 4 by 5, so the number will be changed, the fraction will be changed. So that is why what we will do, we will actually divide it by 100, and also we will multiply it by 100, right? Or you can say, if you are multiplying numerator with 100, so you need to do the same thing into denominator also. That means if you are multiplying 4 by 100, that means you have to multiply 5 with also 100, so that the fraction will not be changed now. So 5 1 ja 5 and 5 20 ja. So what we will get, 20 multiplied by 4. So we will get 80, and 80 by 100. Now we know 80 by 100, that means we can write it as 80 multiplied by 1 upon 100. So now 80 multiplied by 1 upon 100, actually we were saying, we were changing percentage sign into 1 upon 100. So in the same way we can change 1 upon 100 also into percentage now. So that means now I can write 1 upon 100 as percentage, and now you can write it as 80%. So this is the basic way to do this now. Now what we will do, whenever you need to convert a fraction into percentage, so simply what you will do, you will just multiply by 100. Because actually what we will do, we will multiply also, and also we will divide the fraction by 100. But basically 1 upon 100 will be written as percentage, so that is why we will not write like this. Okay, for an example, I want to convert 5 by 2 into percentage. So if I will multiply and divide it by 100, so overall what I will do, I will just use these three things, this numerator, this denominator, and this 100, right? And rest of 1 upon 100, that means this 1 upon 100 will be converted into percentage. So every time if this 1 upon 100 will be converted into percentage, so there is no need to write again and again now. So that is why basically what you have to do, whenever you are going to change fraction into percentage, so always what you will do, you have to just multiply it by 100 like this. And also you can write like this also, right? So 2 1 ja 2, 250 ja, so basically 5 5 ja 25, so that means you will get 250%. Okay, now in the same way, let us suppose if you want to convert 1 upon 10 into percentage, so again you have to multiply it by 100. So 0 and 0 will be cancelled out, and now what you will get, you will get 10%. Okay, so this is the basic way to know that how you can convert percentage into fraction, and how you can convert fraction into percentage, right? Now let us learn that which type of question that can be asked in percentages. Basically, because the percentage is nothing but the comparison between two or more than two quantities, right? So if we are comparing two quantities, so let us suppose I'm talking about two quantities now, A and B. So if A is 50 80 and B is 50, so there are some certain questions that will be coming in our mind. The first question that is coming in my mind, that A is how much more than B? B is by how much B is less than A, right? The first question that is coming in my mind is that by how much A is greater than B. The second question that is coming in my mind is by how much B is smaller than A. And the third question that is coming in my mind is by how or you can say by what percent A is greater than B. And the last one is coming in my mind is that by what percent B is smaller than A. So these are the four basic questions that are coming in my mind. So first two questions are very easy now. That by how much A is greater than B? So definitely 80 minus 50. So that means what we will get? We will get 30. That means A is 30 more than B. The second question is that by how much B is smaller than A? So again we will subtract 50 from 80 and we will get what? 30. So now I will say that B is 30 smaller than A. So basically we are getting the same answer, but here it is more and here it is less. Now the third question is that by what percent A is greater than B, right? So now my question is that my motto is that just let you know that how we can find out the percentages. So basically, so what I told you initially, whenever you are going to find out a percentage, so what is percentage? Percentage is a comparison between two quantities, two or more than two quantities. Now, so let us suppose I am talking about like I scored 400 marks out of 500. So I just want to know that by that what percent I scored, right? So now how I can do this actually? So what you need to do, you have to compare this 400 with this 500 and then you will be able to find it out. So when we will compare this 400 with 500, because 500 is the total quantity, right? This is the initial quantity and 400 is the part of 500 now. So now I will say I scored 400 out of 500, but now my question is that I want to find out the percentages. So already we have learned whenever we need to find out the percentage, so what we can do, we need to multiply the fraction by 100. So 400 out of 500 multiplied by 100. So basically what we are getting, we are getting the percentage. So the 100 and 100 will be cancelled out. 5 1 ja 580 ja. So what we are getting, we are getting 80%. So what we have done here actually, so basically whenever you have to find out the percentage, so you can write the numbers into the form of A by B and multiplied by 100%. So this is the way that you can find out the percentage. Now I'm sure that you must will be thinking that why we have written A by B multiplied by 100. So basically here A, or you can say the numerator. So what can be the value for the numerator? So numerator will be that value which you want to compare, right? Numerator will be that value which you want to compare, and denominator or B, right? Denominator or B will be that value with whom you want to compare the numerator. So here we just want to find out that what is 400 of 500. That means I just want to compare this 400 with 500. So that is why I have written 400 into numerator, because this is the value that I want to compare and this is the value with whom I want to compare this numerator. Now what I will do, I will just multiply it by 100. So that is why in the same way, if you want to know that by what percent A is greater than B, so what you have to do, you have to write that firstly what you will do, you will find out the greater part, like by what A is greater than B. So here you find it out that A is 30 greater than B. Now that means I just want to compare 30 with B now, because A is 30 greater than B. So this is the 30 which is greater than B. Now what is B? B is actually 50. So here 30 is that value that we want to compare, and 50 is that value with whom we want to compare. Now so 30 divided by 50 multiplied by 100, okay, percentage. So 0 and 0 will be cancelled. 5 1 ja 5, 5 20 ja, so 23 ja will be 60%. So that means we will say that A is actually 60% more than B. If B is 100%, right? If B is 100%, so 60% out of B will be greater portion, that is A, right? Now in the same way, if I want to know that by what percent B is smaller than A, so we know that B is 30 smaller than A. Now what we are doing, we want to know that B is by what percent B is smaller than A. That means B is 30 is smaller than A. Now I am going to compare this 30 with A, because I want to know that by what percent B is smaller than A. Now so that is why 30 divided by, now I will write 80, okay, and then multiplied by 100. So 0 and 0 will be cancelled out, and here what we will write, 300 divided by 8. So I can divide it by so 4 2 ja 4 7 ja 28 and 4 5 ja 20. So now 75 by 2%, okay. So 75 by 2%, that means B is actually 75 by 2% less than A. So these are some questions that you have to keep in your mind, and these are the basic question. With the help of these questions you can solve any questions, right? If you learn the concept, if the concept is clear that how we can find out the percentage, how we are finding out the percentages, so this is basically clear, okay. That means now you can solve all your questions with the help of percentages, okay. So if you want to know the percentage change, right, if you want to know the percentage change, so again you can write the formula in another way, like percentage change is equals to amount of change divided by initial value and multiplied by 100%. So let us suppose I just want to know that if someone is scored 640 marks out of 100, out of 800, if someone is scored 640 marks out of 800, so I just want to know what is percentage change now. So here amount of change is 640, right? Because I want to compare 640 with the total value, that means the initial value. So initial value is 800, so 640 divided by 800 multiplied by 100%. So what we will get, double zero and double zero will be cancelled out, 8 1 ja and 8 8 ja. So what we will get, we will get 80%. That means this 640 is actually 640 is actually 80% of 800, okay. Now just a minute, yeah. Now my question is that we learned that how we can convert a fraction into percentages, we learned that how we can convert a percentage into fraction, then we learned that how we can find out the percentages. Now my question is that all the values are 100% now, all the values are 100% in itself. So that is why if one is 100%, one is 100%, so what will be 2%, what will be 2? So now already we have learned whenever we need to convert a fraction into percentages, so we need to multiply it by 100. So in the same way, If 1 is 100%, that means what we have done here, we have multiplied 1 with 100, so that is why we are getting 100% now. So in the same way, if we will multiply 2 with 100, so we will get 200%. If I want to change 5 into percentages, so that means I need to multiply 5 with 100. So what I will get, 5 multiplied by 100, that means 500% now. So now if I want to convert 1 by 2 into percentage, so if I will multiply 1 by 2 with 100, so what I will get, 50%, right? So there are actually some conversion that we need to learn, right? So because they are the very important, they can be asked in examinations and they are actually used in examinations. So that is why I'm saying you have to learn some uh, fraction to percentage changes and percentage to fraction changes. Okay, so I'm writing here some parts. If you want to convert 1 by 3 into percentage, so you will multiply 1 by 3 with 100%, and what you will get, that means you want to convert a part into 3 equal parts now, right? So that what you will get, 33 1 by 3%. And how you will get 33 1 by 3%? Because when you will divide 100 by 3, so the table will go 33 times and 1 will be the remainder and 3 will be the denominator. Okay, so that is why. And also 33 1 by 3 can be written as 33.33%. So sometimes instead of this fraction, it can be asked that what is some like in any question it is used that what is 33 1 by 3% of a number. So instead of 33 1 by 3, it can also be asked what is 33.33% of any number now. So that is why you need to keep in your mind that 33 1 by 3% is also 33.33% now. In the same way, 1 by 4 multiplied by 100, so what you will get, you will get 25%, right? And 1 by 5%, 1 by 5 multiplied by 100, so what you will get 20%. Okay, 1 by 6, so what you will get when you will multiply 1 by 6, so now we can divide 2 3 ja and 2 50 ja now. So that means now you will get 50 by 3%. So you can write it as 16 2 ja 16 whole 2 by 3%. Otherwise, you can write it as 16.66% also. You can write it as 16.66% also. And in the same way, if you want to convert 1 by 7 into percentage, so you have to multiply 1 by 7 with 100. So what you will get when you will multiply? So 14 2 by 7 na, percent, or you can write it as 14.28%. If you want to convert 1 by 8 into percentage, so you have to multiply again with 100. So 4 2 ja and 4 25 ja, that means now if you will divide 25 by 2, so what you will get, you will get 12 1 by 2%, or you will get 12.5%. Okay, now in the same way, if you want to convert 1 by 9 into percentage, so it can be 11 1 ja 11 whole 1 by 9%. Okay, and 1 by 10, this is I think very tough now. So 1 by 10 can be written as 10%. In the same way, 1 by 11 can be written as 9 whole 1 by 11%. And in the same way, if you want to write 1 by 12%, so 1 by 12% can be written as 8 whole 1 by 3%. Now you must be thinking how I can write 1 by 12 as 8 whole 1 by 3. Because if I will multiply 1 by 12 with 100, so 4 3 ja and 4 25 ja, so now 3 8 ja 24 and 1 will be the remainder na? So that is why 8 whole 1 by 3, or you can write it as 8.33 also. 1 by 13, that you can write it as because the table will go 7 times 9, right? So 7 whole 9 by 13, that you can write it as. In the same way, if you want to convert 1 by 14, so how you can write it as, you can actually write it as 7 whole 1 by 7 now. 1 by 14 can be written as 7 whole 1 by 7. In the same way, 1 by 15 can be written as, now when we'll multiply it by 100, so what you will get, you will get 6 2 by 3%. So you can write it as 6.66% also. Okay. So so this is the way that these are actually some fraction that you have to keep in your mind, because if you will learn these fractions, so definitely you will save a lot of time while solving any questions. Okay, now let us solve some questions based on it. So let us suppose I just want to convert 83.33 percent into fraction, right? I just want to convert 83.33 into percent. So how I can do this? Actually I can split them now. So how I can do this? I will write 83.33 as 50 plus 33.33, right? So we all know that if I'm talking about 50%, so that is basically 1 by 2. 50%, that means 1 by 2, right? So we have learned, just learned that 1 by 2 is equals to what? 1 by 2 is equals to 50%. So that means 50% is equals to 1 by 2. Now, so that is why 50% can be written as 1 by 2, and 33 1 by 3%. So what it is? It is nothing but 1 by 3, right? So 33 1 by 3% or 33.33%. So this is 1 by 3. Now I can write it as 1 by 3. So now what I need to do, I need to just take the LCM of 3 and 2. So what I will get? I will get 6, and 3 1 are 3 and 2 1 are 2. So what we will get? We will get 5 by 6. That means the conversion of 83.33% into fraction is basically 5 by 6. Now let us suppose I want to convert 37.5% into fraction. So what, how I will do? I will actually write it as I can write it as like it is 37.5%. So can you just remember that what was 1 by 8? What was 1 by 8? So actually 1 by 8 was 12.5. So this is what? So this is actually 3 times of it now. So when we will multiply 12.5% by 3, so what we will get? We will get 37.5%. That means if we will multiply 12.5% with 3, so we will get 37.5%. So basically 12.5% is basically 1 upon 8 now. So if 1 by 8 is 12.5%, so in the same way 12.5% will be equals to 1 by 8. So that is why now we can write it as 3 by 8. That means the conversion of 37.5% is equals to 3 by 8. Now let us suppose I want to convert 91 whole 2 by 3 into percentages. So what I will do, I can write it as 75% now. 75% plus 16 whole 2 by 3%, right? So 75% is basically 3 by 4, and 16 2 by 3% is what? 1 by 6. Now we'll take LCM, so it will be 12. So 4 3 are 12, so 3 3 are 9, and 6 2 are 12. So now I can write it as 11 by 12. Okay, so now 91 whole 2 by 3% can be written as 11 by 12%. So this is the way that we can convert, right? These like whenever we will get complicated percentages, so this is the way that you can try and you can convert fraction percentage into fraction. Okay, now I'm going to solve some questions. Okay, so let me do this. So let us suppose I just want to solve this question. 95% of 25 whole 5 by 9. So how I can do this? Actually, 95% of, that means multiplication, and 25 whole 5 by 19. So can I shift this percentage? Yeah, definitely we can. So I can write it as now 95 multiplied by 25 whole 5 by 19%. So I can shift this percentage here. So that is why I'm writing like this now. Now 95 multiplied by, so now 25 whole 5 by 19. So what it is basically? So I can write it as 20% plus 5 whole 5 by 19%. Okay, so 95 multiplied by, and you all know that 20% is what? So 20% is basically 1 by 5 now. And 5 whole 5 by 9% is basically 1 upon 19. Now, so when I will take LCM, so I will get 95. So here 5 19 ja and 19 5 ja. So 95 multiplied by 24 multiplied divided by 95. So 95 and 95 will be cancelled out. So what I will get? I will get 24. That is the answer for this question. I hope this is clear to all of you, right? Now this question, this is very easy question, but I'm sure that you will be thinking that is a tough question, but it is not. So what is given here that B is 6.66% more than C. So 6.66% more than B, more than C now. So that means I can convert it as into percentage into fraction, right? So 6.66%. So what it is basically? Basically it is 6 whole 2 by 3% now. And I can write it as 6 3 ja 18 plus 2 20, 20 divided by 3%, right? That means I can write it as, if I will multiply it by 5 and also it by 5, so what I will get? I will get 100 divided by 30. And if I will change this percentage sign into 100, so now it is 100 and 5 3 15. 5 3 15. So this can be cancelled out, and what I will get? I will get 51 upon 15. That means 6.66% can be written as 1 upon 15. So let us suppose, so here the question was, just a minute. So here the question was that B is 6.66% more than C. So 6.66% is basically 1 upon 15. Now, so that means if I'm saying if this is C, so if it is C, so 6.66% of 15, that means 6.60% of C, which is 15, will be 1. That means if I'm talking about B, so I can say if C is 15, so B will be 1 more than C, which is 15, right? So 15 plus 1, that means it will be 16. So if C is 15, so B will be 16. In the same way, 12.5. So 12.5% can be written as 1 upon 8. So here it is like A is 12.5% more than B, right? So if I'm comparing A and B, so I can write it as, if B is 8, so A will be actually 12.5% more than B. So if it is, let us suppose if it is B, so 12.5% of B, that means 8 will be 1, right? So that is why if B is 8, so A will be 1 more, that means 9. Now I need to learn that, I need to find out that then C is what percent less than A. So basically what we will do here we know B and C, and here we know A and B. So here B is 16 and here B is 8. So basically B is the mediator now. So how we can do this? Actually we need to multiply, we have to equate it now. So here if I will multiply B with 2, so in the numerator also we need to multiply it by 2, so that the fraction will not be changed. So now I can write A by B as 18 divided by 16. Now we know that here B is 16 and here B is also 16. That means now we can write it as, A is to B is to C, as A is basically what? A is 18, B is 16 and C is 15. Now we need to find out then C is by what percent less than A. So basically this is C and this is A. So C is basically 18 minus 15, that means it is 3 less than A, right? So 3 less than A, that means 3 is what part of 18? So 3 by 18. Now I need to convert it into percentage, so that is why I need to multiply it by 100. So 3 1 ja 3 and 3 6 ja, so 2 3 ja and 2 50 ja, and 50 by 3, that means we will get 16 2 by 3%, right? So right now I'm solving one step by step question, so that is why you must be thinking that it is too long now, but it is not long, right? So what you have to do, firstly you have to start with the basic. You have to start with the one by one step, and after that if you are frequent, then definitely you can remove some steps, right? You can calculate some step in your mind that I am doing here, like I'm multiplying by 2, right? So that these are some steps that you can calculate in your mind also. Okay, now, so okay, my last question is that, okay, so just a minute. My last question is that if let us suppose is there are two persons, there are two actually students. So A is scored 560 out of 800, and B is scored B is scored 720 out of 900. So my question is that who is scored more and by how much percent? Right? My question is that who is scored more? Let me write it here. Scored more and by how much percent? So basically, I'm sure that you find it out the percentage, right? So it is what? It is 70% and it is 80%, right? Now I'm sure that you will be saying that B scored 10% more than A, but it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because it is 560 out of 800. That means here the 100% is something else, that is 800, and here the total, that means initial value is 900. Here initial value is 800 and here initial value is 900. So that is why we cannot just say like here it is 70% and here it is 80%, and that is why we are getting 10% less or 10% more. So now what we will do, basically here it is 70% and it is 80%, so that is why B is actually 10%. B scored 10% more than A. So now I just want to know that who scored more and by how much percent. So definitely B scored more, but how much percent? But you will be thinking that 10% will be the answer, so that is not the answer. So what it will be, because we are comparing different of quantities, so that is why we will say B scored actually 10% more than A. So that is what is A? A is actually 70. So 10 divided by 70 multiplied by 100. So this is the value which we are going to compare, and this is the value with whom we are going to compare. So 10 divided by 70. So 0 and 0 will be cancelled out. So we will get 700 by 7%. So that means you can write it as 14 by 7%. That means B scored 14 by 7% more than A. So that is the correct answer for this question. Now I'm sure that all the things are clear to all of you. So it is time to end the session, right? So bye bye everyone. Take care. Be happy and be healthy, and see you soon again. Have a great day ahead.